Hello there, viewers and listeners back home or wherever you are listening to us and watching this episode of this program, Insight. Welcome onto the network of Impact Africa Television, IATV, and Impact Business Radio, IBR 92.5 FM, your station of choice. I am Adefemi Makpadirun. As the name suggests, Insight is a program on which we shall be taking a look at some of the economic, political, and social issues in this country and bring to the fore some of these issues so that we can have a proper understanding of them. And primarily we shall be focusing on political issues, past and present, and political developments within and around us as Nigerians, and the position of the original ethnic groups and nationalities. Essentially on this program, we want to answer 5 key questions. And these questions are, where are we coming from? Where are we now? Where are we going from here? How are we going to get there? And at the end of that journey, how do we know that we have arrived there? The Yorubas have 3 sayings that will help us on this program and put it in proper perspective what our discourse will look like on this maiden edition of Insight. First, they say, bí ọmọdé bá ṣubú á wo wájú, tí àgbàlagbà bá ṣubú á wo ẹ̀yìn wò. That is, if a young boy, a young man falls down, he looks in front, trying to see what remains to be covered, what grounds he still must cover. But when an elderly person falls down, he looks back to see what caused him to stumble. Why did he fall? What amendments can he make on the way? And secondly, the Yorubas say, tí a bá mọ bí tá à ń lọ, ó yẹ ká mọ bí tá a ti ń bọ̀. That is, if we don't know the way again to where we are going, at least we should be able to trace our steps back to where we are coming from. That is, if for any reason we miss our way to our destination and we cannot find a means of getting there again, we should be able at least to know where we are coming from. And thirdly, it is said that a lame man carrying a load on his head, and they tell him that amukun ẹrù ẹ wọ́. That is, you look at the lame man, the way he has carried the load on his head, you know it's not balanced, some way or the other. And the man replies, saying, Okelenwo wo isale. That is, you are just looking at my head, you are not looking at my lame feet. And so on this program Insight, we want to trash out these issues. We want to ask ourselves, how did we get here? How can we get out of this place? How can we move forward? And these and other issues we try and put into proper perspective, analyze them, and proffer a solution to some of them, and suggestions as well. So it is something that will be interactive. We will discuss it in full. And even you people, our guests, our audience back home, you are in a position to contribute to what we'll be doing on this program today. The program is Insight, the maiden edition. And joining me to discuss these issues today are Anu Oluwapo Omoyinde. Anu, good morning.
Femi, thank you so much. It's good. Everything seems to be wrong with our country, Nigeria. And of course, we must look at how did we get here. And in looking at how we got to where we are, we should, be able to suggest how, to navigate from this particular point. So it promises to be an educative program. It's good to have you.
Okay,
also.
Thank you, Anu. Also joining me on the program this morning is Owolabi Oladejo. You are most welcome, sir.
Thank you very much.
Yes, sir.
It's a pleasure to be here.
So let me begin with you, sir.
Okay.
We are talking of Nigeria as an entity, our nation, Nigeria. In the first instance, what is Nigeria and how was Nigeria created?
Thank you. To me, and I think to very many of our listeners, Nigeria is a multinational country created by Britain, essentially for their economic interest. So if we look at Nigeria, we are actually looking at what some people put together for their own interest. But ordinarily, we've had many nations
Within,
that were brought together.
okay.
I mean, okay, Yoruba on its own had its own governance structure before the advent of the British. What we call Sokoto Caliphate started as a religious something,
Yes.
but it becomes very clear that this can be religion. To me, is what they call settler colonialism. At a particular time, they are the largest caliphate, the largest empire in Africa.
In Africa.
You have the Borno
Borno
Empire.
Empire.
Kanem Borno extend up to Libya, Chad, Niger, Cameroon. Sokoto conquered them at a time. That's Sokoto Caliphate conquered
yes.
them at a time, but they later went off. And so if I've told you now that there is Kararafa and all those places, it means we were existing before British came. But when they came, for their own economic interests, essentially, they cobbled together these multinationals and call it a country. That's how we were created. If we look deeper, you now want to say, in creating Nigeria, what was the objective? The objective is economic interest of Britain. Now, how did it happen? Let's then go to Lugard. Lugard came
1914.
and amalgamated these multinational national entities to call it Nigeria, right? And up until 1960, we had so many contentions along the line
Yes.
because essentially we are different. I mean, the culture of an average Hausa man is
Different
essentially different. The worldview of an average Igbo man is essentially different. The worldview of a thief guy in Benue,
Benue State.
right, is Borom people. They have their culture, they have the way they administer themselves, they have their own way of dressing, even our mannerism differ. But you brought these guys together without thinking of their own interest, but your own interest. That is, without thinking of the interest of the people you are bringing together, but your own economic interest. That's all.
So are you now saying that when this nation was cobbled together, as it were, it was a marriage of convenience for Britain?
I call it a marriage of convenience because marriage actually means consummation.
Yes.
And at times, there is usually consent.
A consummation will start from consent.
Yes.
Do these guys, the people you are bringing together, the Hausa man, the Igbo man, the
They
Ijaw
even-
man, the Yoruba man, do they really agree
Did they at any point agree
to
to
come
be
together? So when you talk of marriage, there will be that consent that, oh, this girl, you are beautiful. And perhaps my own parents will come to your parents, at least by my own culture, and say, okay, this girl is beautiful, we want to be part of your family, so bring this girl. At what point, I'm not sure, at what point did an Hausa man sit down with an Ijaw man, with a Fulani man, with an Igbo, with a thief, to say, let's come together?
So it was a forced union?
Apparently, yes.
Yeah, but there is this impression that, as at the time Lord Lugard came, he seems to tilt towards one of the ethnic groups at that time, such that one can say that he curried the favor of, and let's lay it bare. The impression is that, and historians will tell you that it was as if the northern part of Nigeria was well at home, or Lugard was well at home with the arrangement, such that the south was somehow ostracized.
Okay. To me, the issue the issue really is this. Did Lugard come to Nigeria? No.
Oh, really?
No. Lugard went to the north.
Went to the north.
Interesting.
Lugard went to the north. He had no business with Enugu. He had no business with Ibadan. He had no business with Lagos when he came. And there are so many things we need to look at now. When he came, he went to the north. They fought, they conquered a few, and they agreed. They sat down with the north. We are not going to jeopardize your interest. So, and that's the meaning of indirect rule. The emirs, the powerful guys over there, keep doing whatever you are doing. Ensure that whatever resources you have, we are able to milk you. And that's all. So he's already had an agreement not to jeopardize the interest of the emirs before they are now talking about merging north and southern protectorate.
In 1914. But Awolowo, in one of his books, talked about the fact that Nigeria had 10 major nationalities, ethnic nationalities, and about, I think, 41 minor nationalities. Where are they today? These ethnic nationalities,
And the
are
minor
they
ones.
still in existence? What's their identity?
Okay. Now, there is going to be a challenge here. The ethnic nationalities are still existing. But there is a force. I use the word settler colonialism. There is a force. Settler colonialism is saying some foreign people trying to settle to become your colonial master. That's the layman definition of settler colonialism. They are settlers. They are coming from somewhere. They want to settle down and become your colonial master. And that's what, to me, what happened in the north is not religious. It's settler colonialism. Let's lay it bare. The Fulanis came. Usman Dan Fodio came, propagating Islam.
Islam.
That is a facade. It's not. If the idea is religion, we've seen a typical one, at least in the south. They came, that's the religious people, came to the south, gave you religion, gave you your Bible, teach you how to pray, correct whatever they want to correct. I don't remember saying they went to depose Olubadan or Ashenyi or Alake Egba. No. They leave you with your own structure.
Teaching you to read and write.
Right? They teach you how to read, essentially how to read the Bible.
The Bible, yes.
But do you have the same thing
Up north.
with Usman Dan Fodio? I don't think so. They came, the target first was whoever is the traditional ruler of that community. They conquer him, and like they say, I mean, once you destroy the head, the body is gone.
God is gone.
So they conquer the traditional ruler, install their own person. And it's now hereditary. It is only, once I'm installed, it's only my lineage that can now rule in a foreign land.
And all of these still haunt us today.
If care is not taken, we hunt you tomorrow.
Okay, so the 10 major ethnic nationalities, I'm interested in it. So today, the popular ones, we have Yorubas, Igbos, Hausas.
Fulanis.
I wish I can sit down with Awolowo and ask him, who are the remaining 7 major
No, there are.
ethnic groups? Where are they?
When you talk of the major ethnic groups, I'm surprised you didn't mention Ijo.
Oh.
The Urhobos.
But today they see them as minority in Nigerian context.
No, okay, that's another topic. Ijo is balkanized into so many states. But when they come together, they are a major ethnic group. I mean major ethnic group. At least they are in about 5 states in Nigeria.
Is Ondo down the
They
coastal
are in
region?
Ondo. So if you say Ondo people, you're not talking of only the Yorubas. There are Ijos there. Right? And for whatever reason, forget about the politics of it. The Middle Belt have almost 400 ethnic groups.
The Middle Belt.
The Middle
The
Belt.
Middle Belt. At least in
the
languages.
Tivs, the Domas.
You can't wish these guys away. And that's why I normally want to look at
Okay.
a few of these things and say, okay, just like Femi said when he was, Amukunweruewo. What is the foundation upon which you are building all these structures you are putting? You want to suppress a whole Ijo group, blessed in all ranks. You have a job on your hand. The issue in the Middle Belt started long time ago. On the eve of independence, there was crisis in the Middle Belt. Joseph Taka
Taka.
and all these people. There was crisis in the Middle Belt. Why? They not want to dominate them. And they're saying, no,
We have our own identity.
we have our own identity. And the major thing that they will do is, come on, dethrone your traditional ruler, impose their own person. And once that is done, you are gone.
Okay, let me ask you this. From all that you have said and from all that we are seeing, who is a Nigerian?
Oh, what a question. I don't know how to answer this question now.
Because you have ethnic nationalities.
I travel and I know some of you travel. When you travel out, your identity as a Nigerian is the green passport.
Yes.
But when you are inside, I don't know how to answer this question. Okay, a Nigerian is anybody that agree to be part of that geographical space that you guys call Nigeria.
That agree.
Yeah. We've seen cases of people from Chad walking in. It's a borderless country.
That's
what
exactly what I'm getting. Where is the border of this entity called Nigeria?
Maybe you will need to ask Tinubu because he's the one ruling now. He may know where he is ruling. I don't know.
Because
have you-
number one, we
have you-
want to identify who is a Nigerian.
What happened to Bakassi? How did that happen?
The peninsula.
The peninsula, Bakassi Peninsula.
That was excised from
Exile
Nigeria.
from Nigeria.
A referendum was conducted at some point.
No, that's not a point of referendum. Go to the north. Go to Benin Republic here. I mean, yeah, we have clear identity. If I see a typical Igbo man, physically, the way they talk, the way they dress, I will guess that this an
An
Igbo
Igbo
guy.
man.
If I say a typical Yoruba man, I mean, from the cap that you guys are putting on, I don't think there is a debate. From the way you dress, despite the contemporary nature of your dress style, I know you are Yoruba. Merely looking at your face, I can guess you are Yoruba. If you meet a Fulani that is from Niger and a Fulani that is from Katsina, what's the difference? I don't know if you understand what I'm saying
Yeah, I
now.
do, yeah.
So, Femi is from Ogun. It's Yoruba. Olabi is from Oshun. It's Yoruba. But merely looking at him, the first thing that comes to my mind is, this is a Yoruba man. And it's the same thing everywhere. If I say a typical Fulani, the first thing that comes to my mind is this is a Fulani man. The way he talks, the way he dresses, the way he looks. There must be certain characteristics. I don't know if I'm...
Yes, yes.
So, if you now want to know a Nigerian, I normally tell people if you are good in maths, I don't know if anybody is good in maths listening to me. A plus B plus C plus D is equal to what?
ABCD.
It can't be. I didn't say multiply. Until you ascribe value to your A, B, C, you can't get any is equal to. So what you are asking me to do is to add Yoruba plus Igbo plus Hausa plus Ijaw plus this. I cannot get it until we agree that this is the value I want to ascribe to this and that.
Okay, so in 1914, Lord Lugard amalgamated both the northern and southern protectorate. With all these differences, who did Lord Lugard sit down with to say, okay, we are bringing this? Was it a unilateral decision? Did he consult with some emirs and some obas? How did it even happen?
I think I will guess right if I say you are married. Am I right?
Yes.
So how do I know what you discuss with your wife? Unless your wife enter into this studio and start shouting at you, that's how I will know, oh, there is trouble at home. How will I know what Lugard discussed with anybody? There is no evidence. There was no constitution throughout the time that Lugard was here. I hope you know that. Right? He left 1919 or so.
1819.
That's when he left
Nigeria.
There was no constitution. So it does as he likes. They're talking of a colony. A colony means somebody from outside is in charge of your affairs. They don't need to consult you. They came up and said, hey, you guys are together, and that's all.
Even when history has it that in Yoruba or your old Oyo Empire, there was this strong system of, traditional. There was this, the Oyo Mesis, the Alafis, and they had a way of doing things. So could that, amalgamation had been forced on, especially people from the southern part, forcefully?
Maybe you will need to go through the history of slavery, and you will know the meaning of colony. If I have this organization and a particular person is misbehaving and I want to discipline you, I give you query. If I don't want to give you query, I sack you. Why? I'm in charge. I'm the owner. Oh, you are not satisfied? Maybe you go to court. That's if there is a court. You're not satisfied. And that's all. We are talking of a colony. I mean, slave trade. You are their slave. They come, take your resources, do whatever they want to do, and go. Who are you to talk?
Who are we to talk indeed? Because that again translated into all these issues of constitutional conferences and this and this and this. Did we really sit down to agree on a pre-independence constitution? Macpherson, Richardson, Langton constitutions.
We had 10 governors between 1914 and 1960. Governing Nigeria.
Yes.
We have 4 constitutions before independence. We have 1 for independence. We have 1 Republican constitution
yes.
after. We've had 2 again since then. A constitution is supposed to say, even if you belong to a society, a club, in your church,
you have
in
bylaws,
whatever, you have something bringing you together to say, hey, this is how we elect our president, If he misbehaves, this is how to deal with him. This is how we will raise fund and whatever. And the entire organization will sign that we agree this is our constitution. If you are coming in, we give you that constitution to go and study. Can you deal with this? Are you? Aside from, excuse me, aside from Macpherson, Nigeria has never had any constitution in that sense. Macpherson came to Nigeria 1948.
Yes.
Why? The 1922 Clifford Constitution, Nigerians, and essentially the Southerners, essentially Lagos,
Yes.
were saying, no, you can't come with constitution from
Britain.
and think you want to administer us. You didn't consult us. So they have to do another one, Richardson. That one came. The same Wahala. You didn't consult us. You just go to Britain and bring something. No. And like I said, constitution should be able to spell out
The rules.
the rules. But we don't have that opportunity. Okay? So when Macpherson came, Macpherson sent questionnaires to virtually every village.
Yes.
What do you want? We are going to do another constitution. What do you want in that constitution? How do you want to govern yourself? Or how do you want us to govern you? Macpherson went around every village to collect their opinion. They went to town from what they call district then. They went from village to district, from district to their regional headquarters. People gathered there in Ibadan, people gathered in Enugu, people gathered in Kaduna to say, this is what Western region want. This is what Eastern region want. This is what Northern region want. They did all those. And came to Ibadan. 1950, January. To say, okay, the three of us, that's north, south,
East
and west. This is our opinion of how we want to be governed. Tell me any other time that you've seen that.
We the people.
So
what's the meaning of we the people? I don't. I'm not a lawyer, so I don't know. What's the meaning of we the people?
That's the opening
That's
paragraph
the opening
of the
1979
Constitution.
We the people of Nigeria.
Honestly speaking, I don't know. That's why I said, who is a Nigerian to start with? Maybe the guys that wrote it consider themselves to be the Nigerians. I am not sure. I'm looking at you. I guess you are not under 18. I'm not sure if you've had yourself, your older ones, or your junior ones being consulted. So how do you become we the people?
But even the Macpherson Constitution created some problems.
Of course, I mean, of course.
So it seems that from then we've had this problem. When you have 136 members of the House of Reps and 68 are from the north, 34 from the west, 34 from the... So everything has been skewed, as it were, towards the north.
You see, the 1950 All Nigerian Conference in Ibadan,
yes,
had so many issues. They were supposed to have their constitution that same year. That's why they rushed it to finish in January. They started 1949. Right? Now, the challenge then came when they got to Ibadan. Western region presented
its own position.
This is what we want in the constitution. Eastern region presented, Northern region presented. But there are major contending issues. Okay? Number one, what's the fate of Lagos? Britain agreed to everything but central Lagos.
Why?
Because that's where
that's the economic hub.
Economy, and they knew it. So Britain head on to Lagos, even when they were doing everything. The North say, well, if Nigeria will be, Lagos will be for all. It can't be for Yoruba. The East said the same thing. The Western region said, how do you mean?
How do you mean? No.
Lagos is part of us. I mean, how do you come from Enugu or Kaduna to say Lagos is part of your region now? They say, no, it's not part of our region. It's part of Nigeria, so all of us own it. That became contentious. There was the issue of revenue formula. Between 1946 and 1960, we had 4 commissions of inquiry to determine appropriate revenue formula
Yes.
for Nigeria. They couldn't achieve anything. Immediately after the independence, 1961, they had another one,
Still on revenue.
still on revenue. They had 3 before 1980. They now said they will have revenue mobilization, whatever, permanent. Who will now be looking at whatever Ijo is saying and whatever.
Yes.
That started since 1950,
We are still there now.
right? The North, you are saying how many people in your House of Assembly? The North insisted that they must have minimum 50% of members of Legislative House. And they were basing that on the land mass. And the South came up with what
population.
become an issue now. They said, the people you want are to represent people. What's your
What's
population?
your population? So the South was insisting on population.
Right? What's your population? How can you want to have 50%? So that again became contentious. And since then, you cannot count yourself. I have to count the number of your family. Yeah, I know let me use the word we are relatively close, but I don't know the number of your children. Even if you tell me, do I know the number of your grandchildren? But I am now authorized to come and count your people.
I wish to raise this issue. We've talked about the Macpherson Constitution, which seems to be the collection of different ideas. Something you can say is close to what a constitution should be. But I've heard people talk about the post-Macpherson Constitution, saying that is where we should even go to. Macpherson didn't talk about regionalism that much. So you see Nigerians today still pointing, saying that, okay, there is something that is even better than that of Macpherson. Why?
Now, the issue here is this. Let's get this. Macpherson, during all this conference, Southwest was insisting on federal system. Because essentially we are different people. So it's like we having a polygamous family. So you are the father, but you happen to have 3-4 children. You will know the number. You will know your room. That's your mother's room in the same house. So let's rule that way. That's federalism. And at a point, actually, the North insisted, with all this your Dogon Torrenti, we may not even be part of this. But Britain, with their eyes on Lagos, can't afford to lose Lagos.
Lagos is the problem.
And the type of resources that they now saw can happen in South. They saw it that we don't know the magnitude, but
There's something.
there
There's
must be
something there,
we are
yes.
seeing here. We can't afford to lose all these things. So the better we find a way of whipping you to order.
Well, we are still on Insight, and what we're discussing today is how was Nigeria created? I still have with me Anoluwapo Omorinde and Owolabi Oladejo. You can be part of us on the program this morning. The numbers to call 0916-104-7698, 0916-104-7698, 0811-052-6487, 0811-052-6487, or 0902-280-9257. 0902-280-9257.
Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Thank you.
My name is Oyewole Gideon Boduwatife.
You're welcome. Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Ebenezer along Alakia Church Road.
All right, you're welcome. Bulua.
The topic of ground is how far is Nigeria performing from the start to the present. I believe something that as we are talking about the problems Nigeria is confronted with, I believe something that education is still the bedrock. Nigeria is performing parasitically. Nigeria is not performing minimally, neither is Nigeria performing optimally. Everything is parasitic. But I still believe that if we are not self-contradictory, you understand, if we are practicing what we preach, if the students read, if the teachers teach, if the professors profess, if the pastors disciple, if the imam disciple, if honorary academic graduates undergo the actual practice of the academic field, and if the kingdoms, rulers, all these regional kingdoms and rulers, if they are well positioned to rule, I think Nigeria will perform optimal.
All right.
Everything will come great.
All right. Thank you so much, Bolu. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you.
Taking all of it, my prince, my Deborah, and Oluwapo.
Thank you.
This is Olushagutawule.
You're welcome.
This is me to thank everyone for this program. Insights, very, very educative. You are welcome. Go on. Good morning.
All right. Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you, man of God. Hello, good morning.
Hello. Hello, good morning, sir.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm Gideon calling from Mokola.
Mr. Jidakomu, you're welcome from Okola.
Now, I want to ask a question. Which the question is I don't agree with it, but I just want to ask maybe the analysis explain further. Why didn't the British force their language on us the way the French people forced their language on the Francophone countries? Then secondly, in Rwanda now, they have no Hutu or Tutsi. It's Rwanda must talk now for everybody. So you cannot answer Hutu or Tutsi at any class in Rwanda. Why didn't the British do that for us then?
All right. Thank you, Mr. Jidakomu. Thank you for being part of the program this morning. Okay, so your question will be taken. Now, this program is also being watched by those in diaspora. Okay, so the transmission directors will put the number for WhatsApp conversation on the screen. That is strictly for those in the diaspora to be part of the program. Hello, good morning.
Hello. Good morning.
Thank you.
Thank you for this program.
You're welcome.
I will just
Can we know your name, sir?
Aboloma from Ibadan.
Okay, Babolomo, you're welcome.
Concerning what the man that was talking, concerning Northerners spoke the Southerners, I don't think the Northerners are the problem of, especially of Yoruba people. Because if you look at other tribes, apart from Yoruba, I've never seen any one of them killing their leaders. I think we have somebody like Baba Olowo, who have done it well without taking any gun. The man planned it well economically, educationally, to make the head of the even Yoruba, even Westerners to be on top of others. Then what become of him? Who did it? Others like that. So we are the enemy of ourselves. When you see somebody who can save you and you never support him because of money, because Yoruba love money than even their lives. God has made Yoruba to be the head of this country, but they hate themselves, and that is it. If this program we had, now we are having the opportunity now again. If they are not going to misuse it like others, because they will get part of Yoruba will be to let the enemies know their plans because of money. Unless they really that, Yoruba will take the position that God has put them in this country. Have a nice day.
All right, thank you so much, Babolomi from Ibadan. Let's just say this is the maiden edition of the program, and that's why we are starting from the scratch. It promises to be a long journey, but an educative one. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Thank you.
Good morning. I'm Adetunji from Agbowo.
Okay, Mr. Adetunji from Agbowo, welcome.
Good morning, Baba Mapaderu.
Thank you.
And my friend Anu.
Thank you.
And if they get in the house, I enjoy the program so much, and what I've never heard before, I'm hearing it today. The guest is well loaded, and our two moderators. Wow, we appreciate all you have been doing for the progress of this country. Now, my question to the guest, because I feel like listening to you to the end of the today, and I pray the program will continue. Please, sir, can you tell us the way forward?
Okay.
You made a mathematical analysis. A plus B plus C plus D will never give us any question if we go ascribe any number. People should have position that will make us to live in peace. Peace, if there is no peace, there will be no development. And God has given Tinubu golden opportunity. He has been an adequate, he has been a progressive, he has been an advocate of restructuring, but we are not seeing anything now. He's going around the world to advocate for investors. If there is no food, will they come? So thank you very much, sir.
All right, Mr. Olabi. One thing we must understand is the fact that this is the maiden edition, right? The program will grow. We will touch on all of those things. Hello, good morning.
Morning, hello.
Thank you so much.
It's and of course the big boss, I can go on the line from my home.
You're welcome.
My question to our guest is, who were the British who colonized Nigeria really? Because, we had the British that came from the hinterland, the rural areas. But I'm looking at it from the angle that those people who came and then actually colonized Nigerians were our problem. They were not exposed enough. Nigeria's problems today, if you look at them critically, it is for the fact that Nigerians weren't right enough for independence before we agitated for it. You could be very young, and then the colonizer will attend to what I want to say. Around 70s, 80s, the South Africans were seriously being threatened by apartheid. Even Nigeria was assisting them that time. But where are Nigerians today? If you get to South Africa today, for the fact that they underwent that kind of stress, they become what? Independent in themselves. They do anything reasonably. But for the fact that Nigeria wasn't matured enough, before selfishness pushed the leaders to agitate for independence, that is why we are having problems today. Thank you very much.
All right, Ajanoku from Akumu. Our time is fast spent. We've got just about 8 minutes, and some questions have been asked. Okay, so you want to go into them?
At least we want to prefer some solutions now, suggestions and way forward.
Well, the first one I want to address is the issue of language being imposed.
That the British didn't impose their language
That
on us.
On their colony, unlike the French.
It's not in British culture to impose language.
They are not interested.
They are not interested. They call the other one assimilation. It's different. When you are colonized by French, they assume that you become
French citizens,
French
French
citizen.
national.
So as French citizen, you will speak their language. There is no country that Britain colonized, to the best of my knowledge, including America, including India, that they attempt to say, you must do this, you must do this. The only thing is we need to communicate with you. You must speak English. So gradually it will come. No ethnic group is a problem to the other. particularly the indigenous ethnic groups. Ordinarily, if I sit down, I mean, some of my most cherished friends today are of Igbo extraction. If I sit down with an average Igbo man, I'm at home. If I sit down with an average Hausa man, I'm at home. But the question we need to ask is this. I've been using you as an example that, okay, so you are my friend. I don't know how you rule your house. That doesn't mean we are not friends. You don't know what happens in my house. Come on, can everybody, the way we started, when McPherson left, the people are still agitating for one thing or the other. The next constitution, Littleton Constitution, had to formalize the federalism. That, look, there is nothing we can do. These guys cannot work together as a unitary system. It became clear, right? So, the solution you are saying is this. Can we please, for peace sake and for progress sake, recognize that we are different?
Okay. Maybe that's where we'll continue next week.
No, it's better.
Because
we'll call it a wrap.
Now we are getting somewhere. We've looked at the issue of how Nigeria was created.
That's what we dwelt on today.
We look at who is a Nigerian. We have looked at where are the identifiable borders of Nigeria. Now we want to take it further. But next week, we look at the positions of our founding fathers on this issue of federalism. Why were we cobbled together? Should we have been together in the first instance? And this has continued to generate issues and issues within the polity. So that's where we'll continue next week. I know Oluwapo, just a round up.
Yes, it promises to be a long journey, right? We've just started. There are so many things. Some person said it's quite educative. Of course, it promises to even be more educative. You just stay tuned. Join us next week, same time, same station. We're on a journey. And of course, take a ride with us. You won't regret. Thank you so much.
Just one word from you.
Well, let's thank God. Let's go back to where we started from. Thank you.
Yeah. Let's go back to where we started from. That's loaded one. Are you now saying to Daitenso Israel?
No. Nigeria is good. We are only being poorly administered.
Okay. We'll get to that next week. We'll keep on talking on. This is the maiden edition of Insight on Impact Africa Television and Impact Business Radio. I want to appreciate my guest, Anoluwapo Omorinde Dikinowo Labi-Oladejo, for coming. I want to appreciate our studio managers, the transmission directors, Sulaiman Oseni, Tunji Adeyefa, Tokpe Olalude, and all the crew, Godwin, and all the entire crew for putting this together, for having a seamless transmission. My name is Adefemi Makpaderu. I'll catch you next week. Stay blessed.